and peace be with you today and every day. Good morning to you all. Today we have gathered here to celebrate Constitution Day. The Constitution of India is the supreme law of India. The document lays down the framework that determines fundamental political code, structure, procedure, powers and duties of government institutions and sets out fundamental rights, directive principles and the duties of citizens. The Constitution declares India a sovereign, socialist, secular and democratic republic. It assures its citizens justice, equality and liberty. Constitution Day is celebrated in India on 26th November every year to mark the adoption of Constitution of India. On 26th November 1949, the Constituent Assembly of India adopted the Constitution. I feel privileged to extend a warm welcome to our beloved Principal, Dr. C.B. Patil, dear teachers, assisting staff, and to all my schoolmates. Where there is light, there is life. Maybe it is a simple phrase, but it applies to many spheres of life. Perhaps light indicates positivity and well-being. I kindly request our respected Principal, Dr. C.B. Patil, onto stage for lighting the lamp and to commence the celebration of Constitution Day by unveiling the board. Thank you, sir. Now I call upon students of class 7 to brief us on fundamental rights assured by Constitution of India. Constitution of India has 6 fundamental rights that are given to its citizens. They are 1. Right to equality, 2. Right to freedom, 3. Right against exploitation, 4. Right to freedom of religion, 5. Cultural and educational rights, 6. Right to constitutional remedies. Now my friends will explain about these rights.
Right to equality. The Constitution says that the government shall not deny to any person in India equality before the law or the equal protection of the laws. It means that the laws apply in the same manner to all, regardless of a person's status. Every citizen, from the Prime Minister to a small farmer in a remote village, is subjected to the same laws. No person can legally claim an special treatment or privilege just because he or she happens to be an important person. All citizens have equality of opportunity in matters relating to employment or appointment to any position in the government. Thank you.
Right to freedom. Freedom means absence of constraints. In practical life, it means absence of interference in our affairs by others, be it other individuals or the government. So, under the Indian Constitution, all citizens have the right to freedom of speech and expression, assembly in a peaceful manner, form associations and unions, move freely throughout the country, reside in any part of the country and practice any profession or to carry on any occupation, trade or business. You should remember that every citizen has the right to all these freedoms. Thank you. Right against exploitation. Once the right to liberty and equality is granted, it follows that every citizen has a right not to be exploited. Yet, the Constitution makers thought it was necessary to write down certain provisions to prevent exploitation of the weaker sections of the society. The Constitution mentions 3 specific evils and declares these illegal. First, the Constitution prohibits traffic in human beings. Second, our Constitution also prohibits forced labor or beggar in any form. Finally, the Constitution also prohibits child labor.
No one can employ a child below the age of 14 to work in any factory or mine or in any other hazardous works, such as railways and ports. Thank you. Right to freedom of religion. Right to freedom includes right to freedom of religion as well. Every person has a right of profess, practice and propagate the religion he or she believes in. Every religious group or sect is free to manage its religious affairs. A right to propagate one's religion, however, does not mean that a person has right to compel another person to convert into his religion by means of force, fraud, inducement or allurement. Of course, a person is free to change religion on his own will. The government cannot compel any person to pay any taxes for the promotion or maintenance of any particular religion or religious institution. There shall be no religious instruction in the government educational institution. Thank you.
Cultural and educational rights. The Constitution specifies the cultural and educational rights of the minorities. Any section of citizens with a distinct language or culture have a right to conserve it. Admission to any educational institution maintained by government or receiving government aid cannot be denied to any citizen on the ground of religion or language. All minorities have the right to establish and administrate educational institutions of their choice. Thank you. Right to constitutional remedies. The fundamental rights in the Constitution are important because they are enforceable. We have a right to seek the enforcement of the above-mentioned rights. This is called the right to constitutional remedies. This itself is a fundamental right. This right makes other rights effective. It is possible that sometimes our rights may be violated by fellow citizens, private bodies, or by the government. When any of our rights are violated, we can seek remedy through courts. If it is fundamental right, we can directly approach the Supreme Court or the High Court of a state. This is why Dr. Ambedkar called the right to constitutional remedies the heart and soul of our Constitution. Thank you.
Thank you all for briefing on fundamental rights. As a citizen of India, we are entitled to certain duties too. Now I call upon my friend N.P. Neha to outline the fundamental duties laid down by the Constitution of India.
Good morning, everyone. I feel proud to present before you the fundamental duties of Indian citizens. It shall be the duty of every citizen of India to abide by the Constitution and respect its ideals and institutions, the national flag and the national anthem, to cherish and follow the noble ideas which inspired our nation for freedom, to uphold and protect the sovereignty, unity and integrity of India, to defend the country and render national service when called upon to do so, to promote harmony and the spirit of common brotherhood amongst all the people of India, transcending religious, linguistic and regional or sectional diversities, to renounce practices derogatory to the dignity of women, to value and preserve the rich heritage of our composite culture, to protect and improve the natural environment including forests, lakes, rivers, wildlife, and to have compassion for living creatures, to develop the scientific temper, humanism, and the spirit of inquiry and reform, to safeguard public property and to abjure violence, to strive towards excellence in all spheres of individuals and collective activity so that the nation constantly rises to higher levels of endeavor and achievement. Who is parent or guardian, to provide opportunities for education to his child or, as the case may be, what between the age of 6 and 14 years. Thank you.
Thank you, Neha, for the update on fundamental duties as a citizen of India. Now I kindly request Srimati Madhvi Mutalik to share her views on this occasion.
Good morning, everyone. Today we have assembled here to celebrate 131st Constitutional Day. Prime Minister Narendra Modi ji says, our Constitution is a ray of hope. H for harmony, O for opportunity, P for people's participation, and E for equality. The nation will celebrate Constitution Day on 26 November to commemorate the adoption of the Constitution of India by the Constituent Assembly in 1949. The commemoration of the Constitution Day started in 2015 based on the vision of the Prime Minister to give due recognition to the significance of the historic day. It is also known as National Law Day. The year of 2021 was the 131st birth anniversary of Dr. B.R. Ambedkar, who had chaired the drafting committee of the Constituent Assembly and played a pivotal role in the drafting of the Constitution. 26 November was chosen to spread the importance of the Constitution and spread thought and ideas of Ambedkar. India's Constitution was drawn under very difficult circumstances. The making of the Constitution for a huge and diverse country like India was not an easy task. It undergone number of events. Election to the Constituent Assembly were held in December 1946. The Constituent Assembly that wrote the Indian Constitution had 299 members. They are from the different parts of India, belonging to different caste, religion and creed, such as Vallabhbhai Patel, Abul Kalam Azad, T.T. Krishnamachari, Babu Rajendra Prasad, Jaipal Singh, H.C. Mukherjee, G. Durgabai Deshmukh, Baldev Singh, Jawaharlal Nehru, Sarojini Naidu, etc. It is desirable that Constitution becomes accessible by common citizen and does not just remain preserve of lawyers and scholars. They present this package with a hope that more and more people will realize that the Constitution is not a holy book but a functional manual. This assembly work had 5 stages. Committee presented reports on issues. B.N. Rao prepared an initial draft based on the reports and his research into the constitution of other nations. The drafting committee chaired by B.R. Ambedkar presented a detailed draft constitution which was published for public discussion. The draft constitution was discussed and amended proposals and enacted. The 5th one, the Constitution was adopted with a committee of experts led by the Congress Party. We must also know some of the important facts of our Constitution. The Constitution of India has borrowed its features from other countries, including Britain, Ireland, Japan, USA, South Africa, Germany, Australia, and Canada. The Constituent Assembly of India was established in 1946. It met for 166 days, spread over 2 years, 11 months and 18 days. The Constitution of India is a handwritten document. It's one of the longest handwritten document in the world. There are total number of 1,17,369 words in the English version. The original handwritten copies of the Constitution are preserved in the helium-filled cases in the library of the Parliament House. Currently, the Constitution of India comprises 470 articles in 25 parts, 12 schedules and 5 appendices according to the 18th January 2021. It contains the fundamental principles that outline the purpose, structure, limits of an organization and define the duties and the responsibilities of the officers and the members. It also includes the preamble. Preamble is the guiding spirit of our Constitution and the country. On this day, let us all take a pledge to live by the principles laid down in the preamble. The people of India, having solemnly resolved to constitute India into a sovereign, socialist, secular, democratic republic, and to secure to all its citizens justice, social, economic, and political, liberty of thought, expression, belief, faith, and worship, equality of status, and of opportunity, and to promote among all them fraternity, assuring the dignity of individual and the unity and integrity of the nation. In our Constituent Assembly, this 26th day of November 1949, do hereby adopt, enact, and give to ourselves this Constitution. Hands down.
Thank you, ma'am, for your inputs and valuable thoughts. Now I would request